Many games have hidden secrets and Easter eggs to be found, but hidden stuff in the actual consoles and hardware themselves are the ones worth really searching for. Lots of game consoles and peripherals have hidden secrets, and we're here to tell you about 10 of our favorite hidden game console Easter eggs. Let's get started off with number 10. Look, this one's kind of cheesy and not the most hidden, but the rubber feet on the bottom of the PS4 Pro and PS4 Slim are actually shaped like the famous PlayStation controller symbols: X, triangle, circle, and square. This takes the fairly decent design of the original PS4 to a bit of a higher level. The PS4 Pro and PS4 Slim redesigns definitely made the consoles look nicer, but it's also just nice because it feels almost like an anniversary edition or something. The fact that the console itself points out little cues and elements of just stuff we know about PlayStation just seems like a really good way of celebrating PlayStation through subtle little design cues. It's nice, I don't know. But next at number 9, here's a good one that we appreciated for Minecraft fans. The Xbox One Minecraft Edition Pig controller not only just looks cool, but it also has a hidden Minecraft-style carrot on the inside. Sure, it's not the most hidden place in the world, but we're at the top of our list. All you have to do is pop off the battery compartment, and it's on the inside of the door. That's a nice nod to fans on a console and controller edition that already seems to just go above and beyond design-wise. The same also goes for the Creeper controller. On the inside of that battery compartment, there's an image of gunpowder from the game. I gotta say, I give them credit for going this extra mile because it probably cost more to use ink and printer technology to get the image on the inside of the battery compartment. It's a place they don't typically print images on, and the fact that they did it just for the Minecraft Edition controllers is pretty cool. Now next at number 8, let's talk about the Nintendo Wii. Here's a dumb, stupid little Easter egg for it. In the Wii's interface, you may have remembered in the photo channel, there was a little cat walking across the top of the screen. If you scroll over and try and click it, it's usually just too fast and runs away. However, somebody did figure out that if you hold both the A and B buttons while trying to grab the cat, you'll grab it and you'll get a little grabbing animation. The cat will make this little noise, and then it gives you tips on how to use the photo channel. Now, yes, this isn't really much of a good Easter egg at all, because it's just kind of giving you tutorial tips, but it is kind of strange. Why would Nintendo hide user help tips? I have no idea, but it's kind of a typical weird Nintendo quirk though, so whatever. I guess you can expect it sometimes with them. But don't worry, we got plenty more on this list. At number 7, speaking of Nintendo, this might actually be one of my personal favorites, and it's not technically for the Nintendo Switch console itself, I know, but it's for a pretty essential controller. Here we have the Nintendo Switch Pro controller, the fairly comfortable, workman-like controller that you need to buy if you want to play some more demanding controlling games on the Switch. Well, there's actually a secret hidden behind the right analog stick. If you point it completely downward and look past the lip, you can see a message printed on the inside behind the joystick. It says, "Thanks to all game fans." You can even see it more clearly here. Reddit user @theatuist, or however you say it, posted a high-res photo of the controller's main circuit board, and you can clearly see it printed here. I love this cool little thank you from the creators placed right here, even though this is an expensive controller. Maybe the cost of printing that on the circuit board is what raised the price? But I digress. With number 6, let's take a little trip down memory lane. This one with the GameCube is a little obvious, but it's so great and nostalgic, I just couldn't help but include it. With the original GameCube, you could actually change the traditional startup sound to an alternate one when you turn on the console while holding the Z button on the controller while starting up. It makes a weird new noise with squeaks and baby laughs, and it's kind of weird and creepy. Listen to it. Now, if you want to get really nasty, you can plug in 4 controllers at once and do the whole Z trick on all of them at the same time, and you get this even crazier startup sound. I don't know, I can't help it, man. This little trick that every GameCube fan in the school cafeteria would talk about just kind of brings back memories. It's something we just kind of had to figure out on our own. No YouTube video or blog post told us how to do it either. It was just something that some people knew and other people didn't until years later. Coming down to number 5, let's talk about the original Xbox, that big old black piece of plastic. The original Xbox's system interface had a few little secrets. First, you can access hidden credits thanking all the people who worked on the original hardware. To access that, you had to import a music CD into the Xbox's library and then specifically name the soundtrack to Eggs Box. Then the credits roll in a really early 2000s tacky fashion. You'll probably recognize a few names on the credits as some of the people are still heads at Xbox to this day. But there's another one. You might remember the ambient dashboard sounds having creepy, weird, alien-sounding, chirpy whisper noises if you left the console on for a while. Sometimes I would pass out on the couch with the Xbox on, and then after the console went idle for a while, this sound would wake me up and scare the shit out of me. Well, it turns out it was revealed years later that the Xbox team used public domain NASA transmission records and tweaked them to get that weird sound. The sounds are derived directly from the Apollo space missions. Kinda cool for space nerds. Next at number 4, the NES Classic actually has a Nintendo reference deep in its code. Upon plugging into and digging through the device, clever users were able to find this message. This is the Hanafata captain speaking, launching emulation in 3, 2, 1. Many efforts, tears, and countless hours have been put into this jewel, so please keep this place tidied up and don't break anything. Cheers, the Hanafata captain. This very much reads like a weird, obscure thank you to the people buying this product and shouting out the people who worked really hard on it, but it's also self-referential. If you didn't know, the word Hanafata is actually a Japanese playing card. Nintendo actually started out as a physical games and toys and playing card business, and have always made fun, colorful Hanafata cards. That was their origin before video games. In fact, they stick to the tradition and still make and sell these Hanafata cards today. Coming down to number 3, let's talk about some 3DS stuff. The Nintendo 3DS has a few little goofy secrets in it that'll probably make you at least smile once. First, on the main screen, you can highlight a menu item like normal so its icon rotates on the top screen. Business as usual, when you're selecting and clicking on stuff. But what you may not have known is that you can blow into the 3DS's microphone to spin the rotating icon around like a little pinwheel really fast. It's silly. Yeah, it's really silly. But imagine discovering that for the first time. Not only that, one thing that I wasn't aware of is that if you're in Virtual Console and you go to play a Game Boy game and you press and hold select when it's loading, you can get a cool border that makes it just look like a classic Game Boy. What's even cooler is that you can then hold L and R to bring up a prompt to switch the screen color to classic green. Yeah, there was a time when screens were not backlit and they had a green hue to them. That technology kind of feels like it was back in the Middle Ages at this point. But coming down to number 2, we got some Xbox One stuff. The Xbox One S is a really slickly designed console. It's so nice that you probably won't want to pry it open, but if you did, you'd find a cool little etching of Master Chief in a little cartoon style. It's on the optical disk drive bracket. Shout out to iFixit for finding this. It's nice to see Microsoft basically give a big nod to their mascot and, one of the flagship titles. It's almost like popping open a PlayStation and finding a little etching of a Crash Bandicoot. That's not a thing, but it should be. Not only that though, the Xbox One X, however, takes this whole idea to the next level with an image of that same cute cartoony Master Chief, this time riding a giant scorpion. This is of course in reference to the Xbox One X's original prototype naming, Project Scorpio. It's a clever nod to a nickname that really caught on with mainstream fandom. This one is directly on the circuit board though, so you're definitely not going to find it unless you want to avoid some warranties. Now for number 1, we have a really awesome and touching Easter egg that unfortunately was patched out of the console software after an update. The Nintendo Switch launched with a secret tribute to the late Satoru Iwata, former Nintendo CEO and brainchild of many Nintendo products. The secret was originally accessed by changing the in-console clock to July 11th, the date Iwata sadly succumbed to cancer at age 55. This would have to be done before connecting your console to the internet for the first time, or else you wouldn't be able to change the time. Apparently another way to access this Easter egg was to hold the Joy-Cons and point them outward in a way that replicated the way Iwata would use his hands during Nintendo Direct presentations. However it was done, there was lots of arguments between the community and how exactly to do it. It would access this playable version of the classic NES game Golf. This is actually one of the first games Iwata himself actually worked on as a programmer. One of his earliest programming jobs is actually embedded in one of the last products he had a hand in. And if that just doesn't touch your heart, man, I don't know what to tell you. Those are some console and hardware Easter eggs that we had fun pointing out. They're some of our favorites, but we know there are much more, so we want to hear from you guys down in the comments. What's your favorite little console or hardware secret Easter egg type thing? You probably have some fond memories of discovering weird stuff in the technology you spend so much time with, so we definitely want to hear from you guys. If you had a good time with this video and maybe learned a thing or two, clicking the like button does help us out, and we do really appreciate it. And if you're new, you should subscribe because we put out videos every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.